Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick, founder of Herbal411.com, and today's topic is protein. I've done other videos on protein, so check them out down below and consider subscribing because I put out new content all the time. My idea is to get you guys healthy, and hopefully you're all my patients. If you're not my patients, you probably should click off now and talk to your doctor. If they can't give you information, listen on or consider becoming one of my patients by clicking down below. So, protein. I just exercised, and I'm going to be doing this. Now, this is about 30 grams of protein, and I do try to get it in daily, but I specifically try to get it in after a workout. There's a window of therapy after a decent workout, whether it's cardiovascular, resistance, CrossFit. If you can get it in within 30 minutes to 3 hours, it acts as building blocks to hopefully help the muscle that you stimulated fix itself. We want to trigger a little bit of muscle strain. It doesn't have to be for bodybuilders, it doesn't have to be for marathoners or Ironmen. It has to be for building and toning muscle. I think muscle is a great organ, but we don't utilize it. In fact, as we get older, it wastes away. There's something called sarcopenia that I'm trying to get my patients to avoid and maybe even get their diseases reversed. Longevity is usually associated with some pretty decent blood test results, but it also is associated with movement and independence. So I think it's important to always consider some form of exercise. Bottom line is that when you do exercise, and again, if you watch my videos that are coming up that can give you some guidance, you really should be concentrating on protein. There's a doctor out of New York, Louis Arona, and he did a nice study and has a book out about the context of protein in your meal. His data was pretty decent. If you ate the protein portion of your meal first, you would not spike your insulin as much as eating the carbohydrate portion. Now, if you ate like that in front of your grandma, she'll probably slap your hand and say, eat your food properly, meaning the whole meal has to be considered together. Now that we have the data, sometimes we have athletes that are trying to fine-tune themselves, or average Joes and Janes that are just trying to beat the diseases that are coming. So it's important to know how to do it and what to do it with. I'm not going to talk about any data sets here or discuss studies. I just want to give you some basic guidelines. I would usually try to get protein in within that window after exercise. If it's impossible because you're an intermittent faster, okay, but try to fit it in during your feeding window. What's the maximum dose of protein that you can have? 1 gram per pound, and that is a lot of grams of protein. But the data suggested by Rodriguez in University of Southern Florida said it's safe. And I do believe that we're underdosing, at least the guidelines by the IOM, they're underdosing protein or just getting by with enough protein per day, recommended daily allowance, to stop muscle wasting. But I want to have my patients not only stop muscle wasting, but build and become long-lived and independent. So I propose that protein at that dose, 1 gram per pound, especially on workout days or exercise days or training days, would be good, no matter what age. Now the data also shows that 30 years or less, you probably don't need as much of a protein signal to maintain muscle protein synthesis, but I'd still do it anyway, especially my athletes. I'm taking care of one of the shot putters out of LSU, and he's a big boy, but we're trying to trim him down so he can make the Olympics in 2024. So he already has a team of nutritionists and coaches that back him up. But if we can fine-tune that even further, great. Now, those of you who are watching this are probably not professional athletes or Olympic bound, but I really think that I would treat people the same way. And all this has to be individually planned. So again, please take this information, bring it to your doctor, see what they say, or become one of my patients. If you're older than 30, you're supposed to try to get protein signaling if you can, and if you're trying to build up muscle or get healthy, you're trying to get protein signaling every day to prevent sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is when you have muscle wasting. So in many cases, the body's metabolism tries to figure out what its job is of the day. And if you have a lot of carbohydrate signaling, which is insulin signaling, you become insulin resistant, and that puts you into a hyper-inflammatory state. And that opens up the avenue for possible diabetes, heart attack, stroke, dementia, or cancer. So I would try to avoid that. Now, the data says that if you do a lot of animal meat, animal protein, there might be a problem down the line. But I really think that this has to be personally planned. And I believe that if you take a small segment of your life, 6 months, try to maximize on exercise, By indulging in this, you can then, after that, making what we usually call in bodybuilding a cutting phase and a bulking phase. You can do that even if you're not a bodybuilder in a way that kind of ebbs and flows with the seasons. Build up muscle, cut down fat. Build up muscle, cut down fat. So for those of you that are plant-based, you can still do excessive amounts of protein safely. The data on plant-based protein versus animal-based protein is solid, and it does say that you might have a little bit of a problem if you're plant-based, but you can still do it. Bottom line is, don't worry about whey or pea or soy. Just try to get the protein in first. That's enough of a chore, because again, for me, I'm 146 pounds, lean body mass. So if I wanted to calculate the amount of protein per day, 146 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein. So I stopped intermittent fasting because I'm now in a bulking phase. And I'm trying to not necessarily eat a lot of food, but eat healthier without any fasting. I believe that intermittent fasting is great for cancer reduction and longevity and insulin sensitivity, which is good. But if you maintain that, you're in a catabolic state, not an anabolic state. I don't think you can fool the body too much, but the bottom line is that I'll have videos on what kind of diet is best for whom later on. So again, subscribe and watch the videos, and hopefully we all get healthy together. But what I wanted to also talk about today is, if you can't afford, if you've maximized on protein with whole foods, perfect. Doesn't matter if you're animal, carnivore, plant-based dieters, maximize on your protein. Try to get your protein signaling taken care of. Try to prevent sarcopenia. But if half of that, because you find it a chore to eat that much food, is from a protein powder, great. I just did a video, I'll put a link down below, on my favorite protein powder. It gets to be expensive. So my suggestion is, on those off days, say I work out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, usually do a split per week, and again, I'm in a bulking phase. If I was to do that much protein every day, I'd have to eat all day, which I don't enjoy and I don't have time for, but I'll have to eat concentrated amounts of protein, and there's only so much that the gut can absorb with one meal. And if I do that on every day, assuming that on my off days I still want that protein signal to build muscle continuously, I'd be poor. And I'm not that rich anyway, but the idea I have is the leucine is one of the essential amino acids. It's one of the most important branch chain amino acids. BCAAs, you'll see supplements on the shelf, BCAAs, protein. This is hard to find. I had to go online, and I didn't really recognize the other brands, but I do like now Food Sports, so I'll go with them. I don't like powder because it takes time to mix it up, and hopefully this doesn't change the taste of my protein powder, but here's my theory. Of all the amino acids, and 9 of them are essentials, so that's why it's important for you to have it. There are essential fatty acids, there are essential proteins or amino acids, but there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate, so it tells you how important this is. But the bottom line would be, if you wanted to save some money, you can actually do the leucine on the off days. Bottom line is, if you wanted to save some money, maintain protein signal every day, you can do substitutions of protein on your off days with leucine. This is L-leucine. It's a powder. And I don't know if I like the powder because I have to mix it in here, and hopefully it doesn't change the flavor, but there's 9 essential amino acids. That means you cannot produce them, so you have to have them in your diet. And you can do that whether plant-based or animal-based, but leucine is the most important signaler of muscle protein synthesis. So my theory is that if you can't afford protein every single day, try this. This came out to about 20 to 30 bucks for 51 doses or servings. And the serving is 5 grams of leucine. The data says you can get by with 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to still maintain a maximum protein signal for the day. So my suggestion is, cut this in half. That means there's 102 servings for 24 bucks or 30 bucks, whatever it was on Amazon. But the bottom line is that if you can do that on your off days, you save half the money. So if I take my protein and my exercise on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I do the protein as far as whole foods plus powder on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll just do the leucine, save some money on the spending for protein powder. This will get me by for cheaper than doing protein every day. So it's just an idea for those of you who are struggling and you don't like the taste. Hopefully this tastes good. I haven't done an unboxing on this, but I will. Please consider subscribing and learning more as we go forward to reverse disease, maybe live long or get independent, maintain independence, and just feel great. So thanks for watching up to this point in time. Please put any questions in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I'll see you at the next video.